morning, students. In the last lecture, we proved the Bernoulli's theorem, and today we are going to discuss the applications of Bernoulli's theorem, which are used in a various applications. Now, what are the applications of Bernoulli's theorem? Here is the first application, it is to determine the speed of efflux. Second application is the venturimeter, and more applications we are going to discuss here. But before that, we need to derive the relation between the area, velocity and the pressure of the fluid. How? Consider that according to the continuity equation, we see that this A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. Now consider that this A1 is greater than A2. Then we can say that what about the velocity? The velocity V1 is less than V2, means V2 is greater and V1 is less. Now according to the Bernoulli's theorem we discussed in the last lecture, Bernoulli stated that if the pressure is P1 at the cross-sectional area A1, which is larger than A2. Bernoulli stated that if the cross-sectional area is broader, then the pressure is also greater. So we can write here P1 is greater than P2. Therefore, we can here write it as V1 is less than V2. So here we derive the relation between the pressure and velocity, which we'll use in these applications. So what is the relation? What is the general relation here? If P1 is greater, then V1 is less. So we can say that if the velocity of the fluid is greater at a place, at an instant, then the pressure at that point must be less. Okay, they are inversely proportional to each other. So what is the total relation? We can say that this A1 is greater than A2. Then what happened? Then V1 is less than V2 and this pressure P1 is greater than P2. So this is the very important relation between the area of the cross section from which the fluid is flowing. V1 and V2 is the velocity of the fluid and this P1 and P2 is the pressure due to the fluid. So this is the important relation. This relation we are using in this applications of the Bernoulli's theorem. Now what are the applications of Bernoulli theorem? As we stated earlier, the first application of the Bernoulli's theorem is to determine the speed of the efflux. Now, what does it mean? Here, a water tank is filled with the water and a small hole is at the bottom of this tank. So, with what speed this fluid is flowing out through this tank, this velocity is called as the velocity or speed of the efflux. And by using this Bernoulli's principle, Bernoulli's theorem, we can easily determine this speed of the efflux. Now consider that this is the area of cross section which is open to the atmosphere. This is area A1 and the pressure at this point is called as the atmospheric pressure. We did not here write P1. Similarly, the height of this liquid from the bottom surface is equal to h. Now, what happened? This fluid is flowing through this water tank and come out from this small hole which is called as the orifice. Then the cross-sectional area of this orifice is equal to A2 and the pressure with which the fluid is flowing out of this orifice is equal to V2. Now As we observe here, the area A1 is very large. Area A1 is very large as compared to A2. So according to the continuity equation, we can say that the velocity V2 is greater than V1. This is the relation we already stated earlier. So if the area A1 is greater, then the velocity V2 is greater. So how we can determine this velocity of the efflux which is come out from this orifice? So for that we have to consider the Bernoulli's equation. What Bernoulli's equation state? Bernoulli equation state that the sum of the pressure energy plus the kinetic energy per unit volume plus the gravitational potential energy is always remains constant. This is the Bernoulli's theorem. Now here two condition arises. First condition is for the upper layer or the, and the second condition is for the orifice. Now we take this equation to write the equation for these two conditions. How we can write? We can write here it is P1 plus 1 by 2 rho into V1 square plus this rho into G into H1, which is equal to, again it is equal to the pressure P2 plus 1 by 2 rho V2 square plus rho G H. Now what is H1 and H2? This is the height of the liquid from this level. So if we consider here this height, then what is H1 is equal to? H1 means the height of this liquid layer surface from this bottom. So it is nothing but equal to H. And what is H2 equal to? This H2 is equal to 0. So what happens? We can write here as P1 plus 1 by 2 rho into V1 square plus rho G H is equal to P2 plus 1 by 2 rho into V2 square. This term vanishes because this H2 is equal to 0. Now what happens? Let's see. This surface is open to the atmosphere as well as the liquid which is flowing out from the orifice is also open to the atmosphere. So we can say that these two atmospheres are nothing but the atmospheric pressure, and therefore we can cancel out this P1 and P2 from both sides. We can write here it is 1 by 2 rho V1 square plus rho GH is equal to 1 by 2 rho V2. Now consider that this 1 by 2, what happens now? We say that the area A1 is larger as compared to A2, therefore the velocity of the orifice, velocity of the efflux is always greater than V1. Consider that the velocity of this part, the velocity with which this liquid is come in the downward direction is very less as compared to the velocity of the liquid or the fluid flowing out through this orifice. So we approximately consider that the velocity of this layer which is moving in the downward direction is equal to 0. So we can write here this equation is equal to 0. So what is this? 0 plus rho into G into H is equal to 1 by 2 rho into V2 square. Now this rho and rho get cancelled, and therefore we can write here this V2 square is equal to twice GH, and therefore this V2 is equal to under root twice GH. So by assuming that the area of this surface is very large as compared to the cross-sectional area of the orifice, and we consider that the velocity of this orifice, the efflux flowing out through the orifice is very large as compared to this velocity, and we consider this velocity is approximately equal to 0. So by using these assumptions, we calculate this equation for the velocity of the efflux, which is equal to under root twice gh. Okay, now we are moving towards the second application. What is the second application? Second application is nothing but the venturimeter. What is venturimeter? Venturimeter is a device which is used to determine the velocity of the fluid passing through the pipe or passing through a such type of pipe having varying area. Okay, for that we are considering here a venturimeter. What is the construction of venturimeter? Venturimeter is a pipe of varying cross-sectional area. Here, this is the opening of this venturimeter, and the cross-sectional area of this surface is equal to A1. Now, as we going in the forward direction, the area, cross-sectional area of this venturimeter decreases. It becomes equal to A2. And again it goes on increasing. So such type of venturimeter is used to determine the velocity of the flux or the velocity of the fluid passing through the pipe. Okay, now for that we consider here a venturimeter of very cross-sectional area, and we know according to the continuity equation. What is the continuity equation? The product of this cross-sectional area and the velocity is always constant. So if the area is larger, then the velocity must be less. And here the opposite case arises. The area is less, the velocity will be greater. So what is the construction of this venturimeter? This venturimeter is a pipe of a cross-sectional area, and a U-tube manometer is joined. A U-tube manometer is joined to this venturimeter. For what? To measure the pressure difference. Why the pressure difference? How the pressure difference arises? Let's see. Now, as we stated earlier, what is the relation between area, velocity and pressure? If this area A1, as we observe here, this area A1 is greater than area A2, then the velocity V1 is less than V2, and we can say that this P1 is greater than P2. So what is the relation between pressure and velocity? The relation between pressure and velocity is saying that is V1 is less than V2, means if the pressure is increasing, the velocity is decreasing, or in other way we can say that if the velocity is large, the pressure will be less. Okay, then by using this relation, simple relation, there is a pressure difference arises here, and by using such condition we can derive the, or we can determine the speed of the fluid passing to the pipe. Okay, now see, consider that the fluid is come this way and this is going out. This is the flow of the flux, flow of the liquid. Now, what happens when the fluid is entering through the venturimeter? It has a large cross-sectional area. Therefore, it entering the venturimeter with a very less speed with a V1. Now, this velocity is very less. Therefore, we can say that the pressure at this point, pressure at this section will be greater. And if the pressure at this point will be greater, the liquid inside this U-tube go in the downward direction. We shown here an arrow which is indicating the downward direction. What this indicate? What is represent? It represent the liquid which is going in a downward direction, because the pressure at this point is greater, because the velocity is less. As this volume of the liquid remains constant, if the level of the liquid decreases in the downward direction, the layer level of the liquid inside this U tube is rises in this arm. What happens? If the liquid decreases in this arm, the liquid rises in this level. Suppose the liquid rises with height equal to h. Okay. So what is the difference? What is the pressure difference? Suppose the pressure at this point is equal to P1 and at this point is equal to P2. Then what is the difference? This difference is equal to P1 minus P2, and we all know what is it equal to. It is equal to H rho multiplied by G. Okay. Now this is the our equation, first equation, which is nothing but the pressure difference between the two arms of a U2. This is connected to the venturimeter. Now, according to the continuity equation and by using the Bernoulli's theorem, we derive the equation as we write here this equation, Bernoulli's equation. We can write the same equation for the venturimeter, which state that is P1 plus 1 by 2 rho V1 square plus rho GH is equal to. Now the equation for this cross sectional area is equal to P2 plus 1 by 2 rho V2 square plus rho GH. Okay, here we have H1 and H2. But the level of the liquid flowing through this venturimeter is at the same height from this surface, so we can say that this H1 and H2 will be same. Therefore, these two terms cancel out. So we can write here this P1 plus 1 by 2 rho V1 square is equal to P2 plus 1 by 2 rho V2 square. Now we can write here this P1 minus P2 is equal to 1 by 2 rho V2 square minus 1 by 2 rho V1. So here we can also write this as 1 by 2 rho into V2 square minus V1 square. Now it is P1 minus P2. By using the pressure difference, we derive this relation P1 minus P2 is equal to H rho G. Therefore, this is equal to H rho multiplied by G. This rho and rho get cancelled. So we can write here it is equal to V2 square minus V1 square is equal to twice G. Or in the simple way, how it is V2 square minus V1 square is equal to twice GH. So by using this equation, we can derive the velocity of the fluid passing to the liquid, passing to the pipe. So, how? If we have derived this relation, we want to derive this relation in terms of area. We can also do that. How? We know that this A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2, and therefore we can write here V1 is equal to A2 by A1 into V2. So if this value is keeping this equation becomes this V2 square minus, so this V1 square is equal to A2 square divided by A1 square, and this is multiplied by V1, sorry, it is V2 square, which is equal to twice GH. So this V2 square get common. V2 square is 1 minus A2 square divided by A1 square, and this is equal to twice GH. So this is the relation by which we can derive the speed. We can calculate the speed of the fluid passing through the venturimeter. So this is the required equation if we know the area of cross section. If what happens if the area compared to this area is very small, so we can neglect this term, and if we neglect this term, we get the equation V square is equal to twice Gs, which is similar to this equation. So in this way, in the today's lecture, we see the applications of the Bernoulli's theorem, in which there are two applications we have seen here. This is speed of efflux, and the second one is the venturimeter, which is used for the calculation or to determine the velocity of the fluid flowing through the pipe. So in the next lecture, we are going to discuss the next applications of the Bernoulli's theorem. This is all for today. Have a nice day. Goodbye.